Hey guys, so here's a start to a week-long project. My plan is to start it today, add as much as possible throughout the week on this video, and then have it out by Sunday. This, if viewers have been subscribed for a while now, would know this is Danny's Evo 8 bumper. He hit me up this week because he wanted me to do a nose delete on his Evo 8 front bumper. So basically what a nose delete is on the Evo 8, the front bumper has this little nose section in the middle where the Evo 9 doesn't. So what we did is we cut the Evo 8 nose piece out, and we're gonna be getting an ABS sheet of plastic welding it to the existing bumper. Then we're gonna fiberglass the front and the back side, and then fill it with as we were saying, we're gonna fill it with body filler, make sure it's nice, and then we're gonna mask off about from here, or see if he wants, we're just gonna repaint the whole bumper. So let me just walk you through what I did in case you have an Evo and you just stumbled upon this video. So what I did is I took my Dremel. What I want to do is cut the top first, because you're gonna need this to be rigid, because this is where the bumper bolts onto the body. Then you're gonna want to move to the bottom. You're gonna want to trace it out with a marker, a rough line above where it starts to curve up from the bumper. I started in the middle. Worked my way around both sides, and then I went back with a sanding wheel on my Dremel, and then just sanded it down to make it nice and flush, or as flush as possible, until we get the plastic sheet and start melting it to that. So I got a piece of I think it was some sort of plastic, so we can trace here, slap it in, and then we're gonna use this plastic welder to basically weld the top side and the bottom side. Then we have fiberglass, because I plan on fiberglassing the top and the bottom also to add some more structural rigidity. And then sandpaper to sand that down. And then we have our fast drying filler to glaze the top. And then just reshape everything. And then the sandpaper again to just get it as smooth and as even as possible. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a piece of cardboard, trace that out, transfer that there, and then cut it with my Dremel. And then we're gonna be welding with the plastic welder onto the bumper. Alright, so it's rough, so we cut it out. I made it so that it would hang over just a little bit this way, so that I could cut it and shape it later with my Dremel. So we traced out the hole as best as possible, and it's pretty good. So next is to mix up the epoxy and start welding around the seams, making it flush. And then from there we sand, and then we add the body filler. So I'm gonna mix this up, speed the process up so you guys don't have to wait, because this will be at least a 3-day video, but it'll be like 15 minutes long. So we're gonna mix this up, fill those seams, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. Got the top all layered on there. There's no gaps or anything. For the top, I'm gonna let that dry for about 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna go to the back side down here, around the bottom, and do the same process I did up top. Alright, so update. I sanded the plastic weld, sanded some of the bumper just so that the resin could adhere. I fiberglassed both upper and lower sides. Now it's gonna dry and cure for today, so this is end of day 2. Tomorrow we're gonna be sanding that down, trimming the excess, and getting to the primer. Day 3, let's get it. So yesterday, let's recap, we put the plastic in and then we also fiberglassed. So today I sanded whatever resin was excess, made it flat, and then the step we just did was Bondo. I'm gonna be removing the license plate bracket, the front lip, and we're just gonna be sanding the whole bumper because he wants the bumper completely repainted. The person who repainted it last just didn't do that great of a job. It was good at first, but then like within a month rock chips were like crazy. So yeah, I did the Bondo and it doesn't look that bad. It's Bondo. But cut the excess fiberglass like I said I'd do, and I made it match the contour of the front bumper, and it's not looking too shabby, It's about day 4, I'd say. I think I forget what day it is, but we're getting closer. It's almost time to sand the bumper down completely and prime it. But before we do that, I sanded the layer of Bondo we put on yesterday, and today got some glazing putty and put it over the cracks or any uneven spots. We're gonna sand that down, then it'll be perfectly smooth, and then we can prime. So this is what the glazing putty looks like. This is the stuff I use. It basically just fills in any other like low spots. As you see, like right here, after I sanded, there was a low spot there. Covered most of it so that I would at least have enough to sand. After that, move on to sanding this whole bumper. We gotta move the quick releases on the side that he has installed. It's probably like a 17, and then we have to remove the license plate bracket. And also we gotta remove the front lip, so I can completely sand this front bumper down as much as I can so I can prime it. I think the last I did was the red putty up here. So what I did was I removed the front lip, removed the front plate, and I also removed the bumper quick releases. Sanded all the bumper down the to base. I sanded the whole bumper down the base coat. And then what I did was any big chip or most of the chips I just puttied over, just so that I would have something really, really smooth, and those chips weren't just gonna come back. So I'm just gonna let that whole thing dry, and then 30-40 minutes I'll come back, sand it all down, and then we'll be ready for the primer stage. Alright guys, so bumper, as you can see, is primed. This is 2 coats. I'm gonna sand it down and then I'm gonna add one more coat. So doesn't look that bad, honestly. Like, it's all nice and even. Especially, I was worried about this part right here because I didn't know how it'd look, but it looks pretty good to me. And there's not really any high or low spots that you can see, and it just flows better now. Let's let this dry for 30 minutes, come back, sand it down, and then add one more final coat of primer. And then we're gonna be waiting for the paint from Danny. In the meantime, he also gave me the strut tower bar to sand down. He wants that painted white. I gotta go advance and pick up the high temperature paint and clear coat for that, but for now this is where we stand. The bumper sanded, sanded the clear coat. I ended up having to add a little bit more spot putty on I figured it'd be the center and then the corner of the headlights, which is honestly, it's not bad. I figured that'd be the point of focus is for the spot putty because, well, we did cut a giant hole here and we had to fill it, so it's not gonna be perfect, but after that, sand that down and then add the final coat of primer, and then we should be all set. We're waiting on the paint to come in from Danny along with the 2K clear, and we can just put this aside and just wait. Final coat of primer is on, and that's all set up there. Guess we can move on to this. So yeah.
Can you unlock it?
It's unlocked.
Oh, this one's easy.
And you.
No, it's not. You lied to me. Thank you.
And you have that fool over there.
They took the back, but not the front.
But yeah. So we're on to project number 2. He is still on that break.
I had to go somewhere, and can you do Mercedes brakes?
No, fuck the Mercedes, bro. That's why I don't have one. But yeah, coat of primer's on. We're just gonna go out later and grab the white, and I'll paint everything tomorrow. So that's about it for today. See you on day 5. Alright guys, so this is top side is painted of the strut tire brace in the white. So I picked up duplicolor engine, whatever that is. I wanted to get something that could stand up heat, and since it's gonna be the engine in the engine bay, figured might as well just get what I need. So there's 1 can should do this whole thing, and I still have leftover, and then I'll have this clear. Before I put the clear on, I'm gonna wet sand, because if you look close you can see some little like dust particles or whatever, or from when the spray tip was spraying. I cleaned it off with acetone. I recommend you really clean off your tips before you paint. It would just avoid a shit ton of splatter. But yeah, so it says to dry, let it dry for an hour before you can touch it. So I'm gonna just leave it here, let it dry. Then I'm gonna flip it, do the other side, let that dry, and then I'm going to wet sand it, and then from there we will add the clear. Strut tire brace is all set. So to recap, I did 3 coats, 3 base coats of white on both sides, and I also did 3 coats of clear on both sides. For both second, the last third coat for each side was the heaviest, and this is how it came out. Pretty happy with it. So gonna let this dry here overnight, package it up tomorrow, and then bring it up to Emerson or give it to Danny, see what he does with it. It'll be on the car. I'm pretty sure I'm going to paint the bumper sometime this end of the week. You guys won't see the bumper painted until it's on the car. So that's it for this one. It was a little boring, I'm not gonna lie, but it did show the process of how I did the nose chop and everything, and how I do about my painting.
You left me down here by myself.
That's it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And like I said, you won't see the bumper until it's on the car painted, so stay tuned for that. I also have another bumper I'm going to be painting for Emerson, so that's a thing, but that'll be out next week because I don't want to bore you guys with just painting videos back to back. So that's that. Peace.